opportunistic. Plus 14 turnover margin, and a big reason why. Yes, the offense has been good, but the defense has been good at
NFL, and they're 9th in scoring defense. And it's funny, I was in Cincinnati last week, and their defensive coordinator said, I don't care about stats except for how many points are we giving up. That's all that matters, and the Chiefs are really capitalizing on that, as well as what a fake punt by Albert Wilson all the way for a touchdown, who played his ball at Georgia State, who played in the Georgia Dome. A nice return home for him.
And the Kansas City Chiefs. Now a first carry for Jonathan Stewart. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. And let's take a look at the defensive starters for Kansas City.
When Derrick Johnson entered the league as a first-round draft pick, he was known as an outside linebacker with a lot of speed. He's evolved into one of the best inside linebackers in the NFL.
They'll try and run it. Here's Stewart. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
And they must be expecting the run. Now a first down throw for Newton. Escaping the pressure right. Well, this is a catch by Ted Ginn. And the man that just caught that ball, the Panthers' leading receiver the last 2 weeks in weeks 12 and 13, Ted Ginn, week 13, 80 yards and a touchdown.
He has really started to come on as a primary receiver. And remember, Kelvin Benjamin missed all of last season. Came back. We thought for sure he'd be the #1 target for Cam Newton, and often is. But in the last 2 weeks, as you noted, Ted Ginn Jr. has played awfully well. How about that catch he made against New Orleans on a Thursday night a couple of weeks ago? And in this past game, really showing his speed and now his hands.
So the incomplete pass brings up second down. On 2nd and 10, Newton sliding out of the pocket. It's caught right side, Dixon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A little risky there when you roll out of that pocket right like you did. You complete the pass, but you don't get anything out of it.
But how many times have we seen when a quarterback exits out of the pocket, doesn't matter whether they go left or right, the defense loses its leverage, right? There's a little chaos back there, and receivers come open. Great discipline on that play. They didn't let that happen and held it to no gain.
A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I will hear about that from him soon.
Now Stewart on first down. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jarvis Jenkins able to get outside the numbers and drop it for a loss of a yard. And Gano's kick is right through. And the Panthers stake claim to a 3-0 lead. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
It's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
They come out here in the eye. Now it's the Princeton man. This is Spencer Ware. And they're able to get this one across the 35. For Ware, just 29 yards on 14 carries against the Falcons. However, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving as well.
Yeah, he found a way, didn't he? Because obviously carrying the ball wasn't that effective for him. He couldn't really generate things on the ground, but found a way to get in the end zone with 1 of those carries, and then able to catch a pass out of the backfield. Versatility for running backs in the NFL is the key to everything.
Caught, Kelsey, left side. And Travis Kelce's been looking good. Back-to-back 100-yard games. Had 140 on 8 catches last week.
You know, we talk about people rounding into form. I think it's much more the public finally becoming aware of just what a weapon this guy is, what a talent he is. You can detach him from the line of scrimmage. He gets downfield into the secondary. He can make the short catch turn into a big game. He can also run past people and catch the deep ball down the middle as well. I think he's a heck of a player. And his Sunday, a little bit better than his who was in Philadelphia, struggling against Cincinnati.
To throw on second down is Smith. Quick slant. That's caught by the veteran Macklin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
They run it here. Ware. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They run again with Ware. And he only manages a couple here, down to about the 38-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game. Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. Here we go on 4th. Smith. And this is caught. He hits Macklin. It's an 8-yard pickup, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. On the run, it's Ware. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And Hill with it over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
On 1st down, Smith. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They'll run now with Ware. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Back to throw, Smith. And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Jeremy Maclin, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs have taken the lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Fozzie Whitaker now on the return. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. I want to switch gears for a second just to talk quarterbacks. We've discussed a lot of young quarterbacks being great in the league this year. Aaron Rodgers turned 33 this past week. In general, at what age do you start to say, that's tough for him to still do it under center in the NFL?
You know, that's a great question because based on what I remember from my youth and growing up in the game and observing the game, early 30s you started to wonder a little bit about guys. But I think that number's really been extended, partner, because better nutrition, better health, these guys are taking care of themselves, and they want to play longer. They love playing. So take a look at what Tom Brady's doing, and neither one of them has talked at all about giving up this game.
And just to be clear, Aaron, if you're listening, I was not calling you old. And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position, but as you and I both...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Dontari Poe getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4. He's going to wind up and air it out. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And they'll add a DB in the secondary here on 3rd and 14. Newton now to throw. It's brought in right side by Ginn. It's a gain of 17, and it'll give them a first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had...
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get it.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll come out in the pistol. On the ground, this is Ware. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And how about this line out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. And the Chiefs are going to make the recovery. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators. They sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I guarantee he's been selling this one. We can get it, coach, we can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
Smith on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. That kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Macklin. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The line to gain is the 33 on third down. Throwing on third down, Smith. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And this is taken in at the 5. That one goes for 36 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Spencer Ware taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Chiefs add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things work.
Looking for Benjamin, but it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way, because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
So it'll be first down here after the run. Again, we'll see the pistol here. And he'll give it here to his running back. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
On second down, here's Smith. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
They'll run it now. This is Charkandrick West. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Another pistol look here. They'll need to get the play off quickly. They'll run again here with West. And he's got room. 20. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown.
Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California,
New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California.
I got some out in Dallas, now I'm smelling like LA. Met it from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly. She ate like spaghetti, I'm hitting gas and Dreddy. Met some killers in Memphis, like they from Oakland. Give me my flowers while I can smell them. Ain't talking about roses, literally I'm lean. Mix it like a bought it in Nashville. Then I woke up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's sunny, California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga, and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me a Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home? You know that state of gold with the bed. Them other places come close, but they don't compare. I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
Fresh off a flight to Boston, got a BZ in Maryland that I pipe too often. Headed right to Austin, most likely flossing. Tight, exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons.